I give you my heart.
Hi empaths, welcome back to my healing space and back to my empath empowerment series. I wanted to talk today about something that comes up a lot in session work, and that's trust, right? Who can I trust? How do I build self-trust? So I really wanted to get to the nuts and bolts of trust today. And this is based on information presented by shame and vulnerability researcher Brené Brown. So this is her information about trust. And based on her research, she came up with an acronym for trust that's really appropriate called BRAVING. BRAVING is the acronym. Each letter in BRAVING stands for a different word that involves trust. So I'm just going to present the words that BRAVING represents first, and then we'll dive deeper into each one. So the B is for boundaries. The R is for reliability. A, accountability. V is for vault. I is for integrity. N is for non-judgment. And G is for generosity. So let's dive into what each one is really referring to here. So boundaries. Boundaries is really a willingness to say no and to respect the limits of other people. So being able to hear boundaries and respect and honor them when they're presented to you, as well as developing your ability to say no despite maybe a fear of conflict, right? Or upsetting another person, right? Because if we aren't willing to do so, if we aren't willing to have some boundaries in the relationship, we put the burden of boundaries on the other person. So it's about both parties being comfortable with boundaries. And then we have reliability. And reliability is about following through with what we've promised, what we've said we would do, honoring our word. And also having the other person consistently following through as well and showing up and, walking their talk as well. We're all human, so we got the A for accountability. And accountability is owning up to when we've made a mistake and making amends, right? Not just lip service, not just, oh, sorry, or sorry I hurt your feelings, or sorry that was your response, but actually making amends, showing that we're making change, right? That is included in accountability. And then we have vault, and vault is about holding on to information, not sharing information that's not ours to share. If something was spoken to us in confidence, we don't go around talking about it. And vice versa. We feel that the other person provides a safe space to share information that won't be divulged to other people. And then I is about integrity. And integrity is about upholding your values and beliefs, what you think is right, even when it's challenging, right? And having a sense that the other person does so as well. Having a moral code or standard here. And even when maybe it's not the exact same value or the exact same sense of what's right and wrong, feeling that the other person has this moral code that they stand behind, and they do so even in the face of challenge. And then N is for non-judgment. So it's speaking and listening in a way that does not harbor judgment, right? And that safe space of somebody listening without judgment, being reciprocated. And then the last letter in BRAVING, G, stands for generosity. And this is one of the most interesting ones to me. Brené Brown found that in trusting relationships, people tend to interpret others' actions, intentions, and words with the most generous explanation or interpretation. So if someone doesn't get back to you right away, right? You text somebody, they don't text back right away or call you back right away. We don't assume they're ignoring or avoiding. We might interpret that as, oh, they must be really busy to not contact me back. So they'll probably get back to me later, and then we don't obsess over it, right? this is part of trust, right? When we assign those interpretations to others, and then vice versa, when we sense that other people assign that to us, right, and interpret our actions in that generous way, we feel trusted. So it's this mutual experience. So that was The Anatomy of Trust by Brené Brown. And you can see how it might require a little bit of effort, right? We might have to put in some work to feel trust, maybe some time to prove that we're trustworthy, right? So it's not something that just happens usually. Usually it's tested, it's tried, and those relationships that we trust wholeheartedly in, we've probably gone through some challenges together and worked through the conflicts, right? And realized, and maybe didn't have a generous interpretation of someone's actions at first, right? Maybe less than generous, and we worked through it and resolved it, and then finally came to a deeper understanding of the other, right? Or upheld a boundary and wouldn't let things slide, and the other person reciprocated and responded in a really mature way. And we thought, wow, I'm dealing with a really mature, emotionally stable person. And it became easier and easier to trust, easier and easier to generously interpret, right? Easier to own our accountability when we sense the other was willing to as well, right? Keeping secrets, right? Withholding information from people who it's none of their business. And being reliable and following through because we had so much pleasure when we're with them. So I hope you enjoyed this video of The Anatomy of Trust. And was it enlightening in any way? Did you learn anything? Do you find this to be true in your most trusted relationships? Please share in the comments. Thank you for liking the video and subscribing to the channel. If you would like a session where we work on building self-trust for yourself, makes it easier to trust others, right? That information will all be in the description of this video, including where to get in touch with me on other social media platforms. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye, empath.